All right, everybody, welcome on in to Form Friday. This is your coach, Tyler Guzzo, and we're gonna be going over a very important, very common machine that we use for leg strength, for quad strength, for glute strength, for hamstring strength. It is basically the squat of the leg machines, okay? And what I'm gonna show you here is the leg press. Two variations that you can utilize, as well as some of the major injury prevention techniques that you need to be utilizing when you're using this machine. You can injure yourself very easily on this, and there's a lot of different variations. Some machines, like this one here, have basically the moving seat. The seat moves, and you're pushing away from this stable surface. Some machines that you might have are basically where this is stable, this seat doesn't move, but this surface moves when you push, all right? And then other machines you're gonna have where the seat is like up, where you're sitting up and you're like pushing up with your leg, right? And some of you guys might not even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me just show you here in a moment. So basically what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna get this first into the position that I want, okay? Again, there's two variations. One that primarily works the glutes and the hamstrings, and one that primarily works the quads, okay? And so, again, you can kind of go in between that variation, but I'm gonna show you how to set up your feet for each position, and that's gonna be the big difference maker, all right? But first things first, I'm gonna move this to where I normally like to sit. Okay. So one variation we have, sometimes you're gonna see where you can move this upper back part right here, all right? So we're gonna come right here, all right? I'm sitting down, okay? The first things first is you wanna make sure that your hips are all the way back in the chair, okay? And now my upper back is all the way back in the chair. And put my legs up here, just like a squat, pretty much where my feet would be in a squat position. Okay? Make sure it's even here. My knees and toes are in the same direction, and they're both pointing up like so. All right? And you can see I got about a 90-degree angle. So I could probably go a little bit lower. I'm gonna hang on to this and drive it down a little bit, so now I'm a little bit deeper. But you see how my hips kind of go underneath me here. This is not good. We do not want to be pressing from this position. That is one of the biggest things, and that's the first thing you want to avoid, is pushing from this position like this, all right? So I guess let me just show you what it looks like and just going through the motion. You kind of know what I'm saying. Hips are back, upper back is back. Again, my hands on the handles here, knees and toes are in the same direction. I press, and I extend. I come down here, nice and easy. I press, and there you go. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Just like so. That is how you do it properly. Not sitting down here. All that pressure is going to go right to that lower back. You do not want that, right? That's one area. Come around here for me, if you wouldn't mind. And come up over the top. We don't want to be pressing like this. I saw a guy in the gym one time, he was like maxing out. He was like doing this thing. And he was going, I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. All the pressure now was coming to these knees, right? So if you're doing it like this and you can't keep your knees and your toes out like this in a safe position, you need to lower the weight, okay? Or you just need to fix your form, all right? So those are the big major things that I would say watch out for, is having your knees and toes in the same direction, having your lower back here, and the last thing as well is you don't want to be like this. People pushing with their heels off, that's no bueno. You don't want that. You don't want to be like this, okay? You want to have your feet flat just like this. All right, those are the three main things that I would watch out for. Now, if you want to work your quads, okay, your feet are probably going to be like this. This is kind of an in-between. But if you want to work your quads more, bring your feet down a little bit, like so. All right, your knees can be about at the foot level, and then you're pressing just like this. Feet are about shoulder width apart, just like this. All right, now stay on the side for me if you don't mind. Okay, this is the biggest thing when it comes to working your quads. All right, the knees are bending like so. You're not getting a whole lot of stretch in the hamstring. All right, you're not getting a whole lot of stretch in the glute. You are a little bit, but you're still working these hamstrings and glutes and quads. That's why I say it's the squat of the machines. But at the end of the day, if you really want to activate the quads, or the hamstrings and the glutes rather, you're going to bring your feet up. Right? So now my feet are up here, and I can lower this even more. Maybe not that high, that's a little bit high. Lower this down even more. So now the stretch and the angle, there's less of a bend in my knee. You see the difference here from before? there's less of a bend in my knee, and now most of this stretch is coming right here. I can't even, my stomach is seeping through my legs here because this is how much of a stretch it is. So back press. Oh man, I feel a major press, especially right off of the bottom. I feel a major pressure here, and it basically is where your hamstrings insert. This is where your hamstrings start right here. You really feel right there, glutes and hamstrings majorly. Okay, so now it's not like you're doing a squat. Now it's more like you're doing a kickback. Okay, like if you guys know what that is. So it's barely anything in my quad. I don't really feel a whole lot of activation in my quad because now I'm extending my hip more than I am extending my knee. Now you see the difference, right? This is more quad. This is more hamstring. Okay, again, we're making sure that our hips are all the way back. Hands back here to kind of lock yourself in. Make sure that our knees and our toes are in the same direction, and make sure that our feet are flat on this guy. Okay? This is one of my favorite machines to utilize, especially for people that have back pain. They really want to work their legs, and they can't do squats. They can't put weight on their back. They're basically left with wall squats and you know they can do air squats and wall sits. So this is a really good one. Hopefully this helps you, and hopefully this can help you build your legs and show you how you can make the variations work for you. You can even do, last thing I'll show you here as a bonus, one of the things you can do here is utilize it for calf raises. Literally, you can do a whole workout in the gym, working your calves, your quads, your glutes and hammies, all on this one machine if you wanted to. But you gotta be careful because a lot of people hurt themselves on this machine if you don't do it right. So hopefully that helps you. That's it for Form Friday. I'll see you in the next one.